As we get closer to next year's presidential primaries, anti-Trump networks are getting behind Nikki Haley in a stunning loss for Ron DeSantis. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video today. It is time that we talk about the 2024 Republican presidential primary. Because as many of you know, Nikki Haley has been garnering more and more support in recent weeks from the never Trump, anti-Trump, whatever you want to call these people, part of the GOP. And in a stunning blow to Ron DeSantis, a big anti-Trump network backed by Charles Koch will in fact support Nikki Haley when everybody thought Ron DeSantis was going to get the endorsement of this group. And this is a continuing sign that Nikki Haley is the anti-Trump's last stand or their last push, whatever, in trying to stop the Orange Man for whatever reason. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you can join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, everybody. Now let me be clear. I made a video yesterday about how big donors were getting behind Trump and all that, which is still true. But I even said in that video that not every single big donor or group was behind Trump just yet. And this proves my point. There still are some outright delusional networks out there that secretly think that Donald Trump is in for a troublesome time with Nikki Haley and other crap like that. So let's get into it. Let's read this stunning endorsement for Nikki Haley, which nobody thought was going to happen. This group has very strong ties to Ron DeSantis, which should tell you everything. The political network financed largely by billionaire Charles Koch is endorsing former UN ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, in the Republican primary, affording her new support against Republican rivals in the fight to be the alternative to Trump. The announcement was made in a memo to grassroots activists via the network's advocacy arm Tuesday, and is being backed by a multi-million-dollar ad campaign beginning this week in states that hold early primary contests and several that vote on Super Tuesday. So, yeah, this is the anti-Trump's last stand, never Trump. This is our last push to get somebody that could supposedly beat Donald Trump. When we announced our decision to engage in our first ever Republican presidential primary, we made it clear that we'd look for a candidate who could turn the page on our political dysfunction and could win. And it's clear that that candidate is Nikki Haley. Emily Seidel, senior advisor to AFP Action, said in a statement, Nikki Haley represents a new generation of leadership and offers a bold, positive vision for our future. What? She wants to start war with Iran. She wants to start crap with Russia. Start something with China. That's not positive. That's horrible. Tim Scott was the guy pushing positivity. AFP Action is proud to be endorsing her and will be doing everything we can to help her make the next president of the United States. Guys, for those that don't know, AFP Action, they claim to be doing a lot for Republicans. In reality, they really don't. Like, for example, this year in Wisconsin, they quote-unquote invested a lot into the state. Well, yeah, but they didn't focus on the right voters. They didn't focus on the right issues. So, yeah. AFP Action, they claim to be competent. They're kind of not. I know some people that are involved with it, but the organization, from everything I know of, it's not good. I'm sorry to say it. I'm not even trying to be rude to people involved with it. There's some of them do great work, but the organization is just... It just is weird. It's Koch brothers. What do you expect? So it's fake conservatism and the true conservative. That just means low taxes and that's it. Well, Haley stands against supporting key primary states. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis appears to be losing at the end of the decision. As he struggles to find traction and has tried to find a spark to propel his listless campaign. This was not an easy decision for AFP. DeSantis has been a good ally and a champion of many policy positions of AFP in the state of Florida, a source briefed on the matter. But Nikki Haley also was an early ally, going back to the Tea Party movement when she ran for governor of South Carolina, and is also aligned on the issues. She's not Tea Party. Again, that's what I'm saying. The leadership of AFP, Americans for Prosperity, they're incompetent. All right, there's some really good people that work in it, but leadership is just, they pretend to know what they're talking about, but they don't. What do you mean she's an ally of the Tea Party movement? What? DeSantis was far closer to the Tea Party movement than Nikki Haley ever was, especially in Congress. So it's like, what are you talking about that Nikki Haley was an early ally? She barely represented anything from the Tea Party. Donors to Americans for Prosperity, a piece of the political arm of the larger Koch network, had pressed the deep-pocketed group to make a decision and use their resources to boost a preferred candidate sooner rather than later, two sources familiar with the decision said. The push by donors came as Republican primary field shrank after former VP Mike Pence and Senator Tim Scott dropped out. I'm honored to have the support of Americans for Prosperity Action, including its millions of grassroots members all across the country, Haley said in a statement after the announcement. AFP Action members know that there's too much at stake in this election to sit on the sidelines. There's a choice between freedom and socialism. Frickin' really? Individual liberty and big government, fiscal responsibility and spiraling debt. We have a country to save, and I'm grateful to have AFP Action by our side. Socialism? We're back to this already? DeSantis is the one that pushes woke socialism. Now Haley? This is why the GOP can never win. I mean, you brought up socialism? For weeks, people briefed on the matter, cautioned that the decision wasn't considered final until it was announced, with others noting that until days before the announcement that the group could still end up backing DeSantis instead. A day before the announcement, a representative for the group insisted to NBC News the decision was still in progress. The network had already waded into the Republican primary with advertisements targeting former President Trump and President Biden. An endorsement brings with it lucrative financial backing and an early state operation that rivals the infrastructure of the RNC, which is insane much. I mean, the RNC is running out of money. What ground game does RNC have right now? It's known in Republican circles as a turnkey operation. As soon as they decide, AFP can kick into gear. Well, they didn't do a good job in Wisconsin. Yeah, they poured a lot of money, but if you're not using the money correctly, you're screwed. And that's what happened in Wisconsin. Yeah, they poured a lot of money in the state, which I'm glad that there's somebody invested. I even told people volunteer for them because they were one of the only people pushing a ground game. But when you look at what their ground game was pushing, it's like, what are you doing? There's great people that work for AFP. I know some of them. But this is just incompetent. This organization as a whole is incompetent, which is a shame. Because there's a lot of good people in this group. And they're targeting Trump and Biden? Why? Focus on Biden. Which should tell you everything about this group, mind you. They pretend to be neutral in primaries. They're targeting Trump already. The group has spent around $4 million on ads so far this cycle. Digital, satellite, and radio. According to Ad Impact Tracking. Americans for Prosperity Action, a super PAC, raised more than $70 million in the first half of the year, according to FEC records. But, again, this group doesn't know how to spend money. They just think, oh, here's $500 million. We won. You gotta target it correctly. You have to focus on what matters to voters, not taxes. Either way, it's like, why? Why do they think this is suddenly gonna turn the race around? They've already spent Anti-Trump people have spent hundreds of millions on Haley, on DeSantis, on trying to beat Trump. Now it's going to work? The DeSantis team got wind of the likely Haley endorsement after an AFP backer discussed it at a gathering of political donors 2 weeks ago. A DeSantis donor related to the governor's aides and began a full court press with AFP to buy their candidate more time to return to favor, according to two sources familiar with the matter. This entire thing just makes me feel bad for DeSantis. Say what you will about him, he's far closer to the Tea Party than Haley ever was. And apparently they were very close together, the organization. Apparently DeSantis was involved in it heavily. And the fact they backstabbed him like this, that's why you don't trust some of these people. They don't care about, oh, you were a Tea Party member 20 years ago, or not 20, 10. Haley was a quote-unquote Tea Party member when she represented nothing to the Tea Party. With that being said, however, this isn't going to change the race, but it still shows that many Republicans that are anti-Trump, these organizations, for whatever reason, despite there being many big donors flipping back to Trump, they still think they can beat the guy. Now is the time to beat him. You have a month. You really think you can turn around a 40-point lead in a month? It's not going to happen. You have a month until Iowa and like 6 weeks until, or 7 weeks until New Hampshire. Do you really think you can make up that gap in that much time? You can't. If this was back in the summer, maybe. But when you only have a month, especially with so many people decided on we're backing Trump no matter what, it's just a waste of money. But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.